Hi everyone, welcome to MuseTV, your place for tips and tricks for musicians and music teachers. I'm Tiffany Prochera, and today's episode is going to go a little bit beyond the scope of being a musician because it's dealing with stage fright. So in many ways it can apply to anybody who deals with public presentation. So what is stage fright? Stage fright is that feeling of anxiety, fear, the butterflies in the stomach, the sweaty palms before you have to go on stage, and the feeling that you would really rather be anywhere else than where you are right now. Some people say that they fear public presentation more than they fear death. So I can tell you how big of a problem it can be. So I'm going to offer you today 4 different techniques that you can use to help relieve that anxiety. You can often use them all together because they're all part of the same process of getting comfortable with public presentation. So the first thing that you can do to get over that anxiety is to simply be as prepared as possible. You need to practice over and over and over again so that you're not just getting it right once or twice. You're getting it right 9 times out of 10. And then you can say, all right, I've done it right this many times, then doing it in front of people should be no problem. I am prepared. And sometimes people do it until it's just good enough, and then you're in the heat of the moment, it just, all that fear comes flooding back because you realize you're not as prepared as you could be. You can even prepare in front of a small audience, whether it be family or friends, or as I like to do with my students, I have a couple of friends of my own that I bring along that they sing in front of. I'd like to introduce them to you. So we have Mr. Duckworth. A lot of kids love Mr. Duckworth. We have Mrs. Bunnington. Isn't she adorable? I love her fur. And finally, our new friend who has come all the way from Edinburgh, Scotland, Angus McGruff. So what I do is I set these guys up on a pedestal so that my students can pretend that they're singing in front of people. And they feel it really helps them get that practice experience of being in front of an audience, and they enjoy it too because they know that these guys are going to love it. They're going to love their singing. So there you go. It's a big part of it is just about being prepared, and don't underestimate the power of that. Visualization. Now, you may have heard of this before. This is the idea of going over your performance in your mind and going through every step from preparing to be on stage to actually being on stage, and going through all of your speech or your song, whatever you're presenting, and watching it unfold in real time perfectly. And so it's almost like you've done it before. When you get on stage for real, it's like you've done it before. You've seen the audience. You've felt yourself going through those motions. And if you do that repeatedly, then again, you'll become much more comfortable, and the real thing will not cause you any problems at all, or not cause you as many problems. A lot of athletes will do this. They will envision themselves, they'll close their eyes for a while before a race, they'll envision themselves uh, the movement of their body, and they envision themselves getting to the finish line first. And it's just all part of the bringing your thoughts into reality. So visualization can be a very powerful tool. So another way you can deal with your stage fright is to try and change your perspective on what you're feeling. I'm going to tell you a little story. I'm paraphrasing it. I'm trying to recall it as best I can, but it was very impactful for me in this idea of changing your perspective. So it was a music journalist who obviously deals with a lot of interviews with musicians, and he was talking to this one person, high-profile artist, and he said, "So do you get stage fright?" And the fellow says, "Yeah, I hate it. You know, my hands get sweaty. I get this butterflies in my stomach, and it was one of the worst parts of the performance experience for him." Understandable when he sees it that way. Then the next day or so, he was talking with another very high-profile musician, and he mentioned about the stage fright, and he said, well, yeah, I get the butterflies in my stomach and my hands start sweating and I get all tense and nervous and I just know it's excitement and I know it's time for me to go on stage when I feel that way. And so that shows you that two people can feel the same thing but have it mean different things. One person thought it was something to be feared and something that made him not want to go on stage, and the other fellow thought that that was his cue, that it was time to go on and rock the show. So if you can tell yourself during those moments of anxiety that maybe it's actually excitement for what you're about to do, when you're about to get on stage, then maybe that will help you. So when you're in that moment of tension, just close your eyes and just say, this is excitement. This is going to be a lot of fun, and I'm just gearing up for that. So that may help you. Try that one on next time. So my final tip on helping you deal with stage fright is to play the so what game. And what that is when you're in the moment of the anxiety, often it's because you think that there are some future repercussions. There's something bad is going to happen in the future. And I want you to be able to try to realize that whatever you think is going to happen, A, probably won't, and B, probably won't be as bad as you imagine, even if it does transpire. So, you're all stressed out, you're tense, stomach churning, sweaty palms, all that. And it's like, okay, what am I really afraid of? What do I think is going to happen? Well, okay, I think my performance is going to suck, and people maybe will leave the theater during my performance. And you say, okay, so what? What's the big deal with that? What then? What could happen then? Well, what maybe, I'll get bad press in the paper, maybe the reviews will be negative. And then, okay, so what? Well, that might impact my career. I will have smaller and smaller audiences as time goes on, and then maybe I won't have a career at all. Okay? So what? What is so bad about that? Well, maybe my significant other is going to leave me because they're like, well, you just suck, you're nothing. I can't handle this anymore. Okay, so what? Well, then I'll be alone. So what? Then, I'll have to find another career, something else to do with my life. And so what? And you keep going through this as long as you need to to realize that whatever you think is going to happen probably won't. Okay? Your wife or husband probably will not leave you because of a bad performance. And even if that does happen, the worst that can happen, you will still make it through. You will still you need to have the faith that you will be able to draw from within yourself the energy and the faith to move past it and get on with things, whether it be in that field or not, whether you move on to something else. Just trust yourself. It's being able to trust yourself that you can handle it, and what you think is going to happen probably won't. So I thank you so much for watching this episode of MuseTV today. I hope you found it helpful, and if you did, please feel free to share it with others, comment on the comment section below, and sign up for the Swimming Tigress Music YouTube channel. You can also visit www.tiffanyprochera.com for more information about me and Swimming Tigress Music, including my new song collection, Brain Freezes, and 7 other super reasons to sing a silly song. You can also sign up for the Muse and Moose blog there. You can find us on Facebook, Swimming Tigress Music, Twitter, @SwimmingTigress, so you can get more updates of what we're going to be showing next and new releases, all that sort of thing. So again, I hope you had a fun time today, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.